welcome to my Ocean One and Then Some channel. I just want to give you a quick update on why I haven't done any videos recently. And that's pretty simple. I caught COVID, and that's the first time I'd actually had COVID. My wife had had it a couple times. My daughters had had it a couple times, and somehow I had always managed to evade it. But it got me on roughly around the 16th. I was sick before the 16th, but I really didn't know what was wrong with me. I just had an itchy, scratchy throat and thought I was getting, a cold. And then eventually, I realized that I was too sick for a cold and knew that it was the flu or COVID, and had COVID. And it got me pretty good, actually. So I really haven't felt like doing any videos, and today's the first day that I've actually felt how would you word it? I felt well enough to do a video and not, just drag myself in front of the camera. It's got me to where I'm tired all the time. So I'm over COVID in the sense, but I stay very tired, and I get tired very easily, which is something that's not normal for me. Normally I can go wide open, and I rarely ever get tired or get winded. But COVID is a weird virus, so that's why I haven't done any videos. And today, I got this FAQ from, well, I want to say their name right, Hagen's Berman. I got this email from them, and I think most of you are going to be familiar with this law firm that is representing ocean owners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the FAQs, because I think many of you would be very interested in that. If you haven't gotten the email, it's something that you would probably be very interested in. And so I'm just going to take them one at a time and then put everything together. Now, I thought about putting it up on the screen and recording it, but actually I just decided just to zip through this very quickly, read the questions, paraphrase some of the answers, and mosey right along. So hopefully this works for you guys. Okay, I'm not going to hit every single thing in the sense that I repeat every word. I don't find that necessary, and I don't think you would either, but I'm just going to open it up with what they start with here. Frequently asked questions. Since the firm announced its representation of the Fisker Ocean owners, our legal team has received more than 1,000 inquiries. Hagen's Berman's legal team has supplied answers to owners' questions below to help guide you through the process. Fisker may have left ocean owners with little resources, and our firm is here to course correct, putting you back in the driver's seat. So I am just going to take these one at a time, and here we go. What's the case about? I think we all know that, and I'm going to paraphrase some here, okay? It's people who finance through Chase, because Fisker's bankrupt, so really that's your only recourse, is if you finance through Chase. Who is the defendant? The firm pursuing owner's rights against J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. Is this a class action? No, it's not a class action. Due to contractual requirements in the consumer's loan agreement with J.P. Morgan Chase, these claims will likely need to be brought on in an individual basis. What is a statement of claim? A statement of claim or demand for arbitration is the initiating filing in an arbitration, similar to a complaint. What is dinging? I don't know. I don't know where that was coming from. Once this document is filed with the arbitrator, the arbitration process begins. Arbitration hearings are typically held much more quickly than a trial in court, often within 6 months. But the timing of the hearing is ultimately the decision of the arbitrator. All right. Is Hagen Berman's pursuing claims against other banks or financiers? No, not at this time. What is the holder rule? I guess I should just read this. Hagen Berman's is pursuing owner's rights under the holder rule in due course. Because Fisker is bankrupt, they are shielded from being sued in this instance. Most of the time, when bankruptcy is involved, car owners will be out of luck. The holder rule establishes that a bank or financier was involved with the promotion of the vehicles can be held liable to the same extent that the car manufacturer can. This means violation of limit laws, breach of contract, breach of warranty, misrepresentation or violation of Consumer Protection Acts that could have been brought against Fisker could now be brought against Chase. Now, one of these, I didn't know the holder rule, okay, at all. But I always felt like this was breach of contract to not get, the things that we were promised. All right, representation. I am interested in legal representation. What do I do next? Well, reach out to Hagen and Berman's. That's pretty easy. Does Hagen's Berman represent me in this case? Well, if you fill out the retainer agreement, they do. What happens if I don't sign the retainer? Well, we don't represent you. What duties may I have to take in this arbitration? You'll just need to get copies, your agreement with Chase, any relevant documents, and, things like that. Eligibility. Who is affected? Anyone that purchased a 2023 or 2024 Fisker Ocean and financed through Fisker Finance or JP Morgan Chase. This includes all of the trims on the Fisker Ocean. I did not finance through Fisker Finance or JP Morgan Chase. Am I still eligible? No. I paid cash for my car. Am I eligible? No. What if I refinanced? Am I eligible? Well, you are if you originally financed with Chase. What if I already have an arbitration judgment against Fisker? Well, owners in that situation would have to file a new claim against Chase in a different arbitration. We would file an arbitration to obtain a judgment against Chase. I live outside the U.S. Am I eligible? Well, you are if you finance through Chase. So, there you go. All right, now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to pick up with the next part. Okay, this next part revolves around fees and expenses, and it's actually pretty straightforward, but I know there's a lot of questions here. All right, if no compensation is awarded, will I still owe a fee to Hagen's Berman? No. I'm just going to skip the rest of that. No. What are the expenses on the retainer agreement? The last page of the retainer agreement refers to litigation expenses rather than a Hagen's Berman's fee. These expenses relate to things such as expert witnesses and other items necessary to prevail in an arbitration hearing. It is difficult to estimate these amounts before we know what the defenses will be. But the large number of clients that are retaining us will certainly lower the dollar amount or expenses per client. Our retainer agreement includes this to safeguard clients so that there are no surprises should this arise. If Hagen Berman's prevails and my loan is discharged, will I have to pay Hagen Berman's out of pocket, putting me in a worse financial situation? This is what they say. We considered that possibility carefully as we would very much prefer our clients not to have to write us a check, even if they do benefit substantially from the outcome of the case. We will seek a cash payment for at least part of the judgment that we obtain in order to fund our fees. But such award is ultimately at the discretion of the arbitrator. We do not receive any fee unless we obtain a benefit for you. There is no scenario, and I want to read that very carefully because I know some people would be worried about this. There is no scenario in which case you could come out worse. So, let that sink in. By contrast, if you were to hire an hourly rate firm, you would still owe their fee, win or lose, at arbitration. If the recovery is loan forgiveness or repayment of monies paid, how will Hagen Berman's fee be calculated and how would the firm expect it to be paid? In any settlement, the firm will seek to negotiate a resolution whereby Chase pays some of the portion of the settlements in cash for our fee and some portion for loan forgiveness, if that is what the client prefers. Okay, here's a scenario that they give. Assuming I have an outstanding balance of $50,000 and have paid $20,000 and my loan is forgiven and my car is taken back, what is Hagen Berman's fee? All right. Hypothetically, if you originally financed $70,000 and have paid down the balance by $20,000, the total damages would be $70,000, ignoring litigation expenses for this discussion. If the firm achieves $70,000 for you at arbitration, our fee would be $21,000, so 30% of, what you get. You would receive $49,000 of loan forgiveness or cash. There is the possibility of additional award of attorney's fees, which would almost certainly be less than Hagen Berman's contingency percentage. Assuming an award of $10,000 in attorney fees, the recovery would be $80,000. The firm's fee would be $24,000, and you would receive $56,000 in some combination of loan relief and cash. If the firm fees are more than my potential payout, am I responsible to pay Hagen Berman's? The firm's fee is a percentage of your recovery and cannot be more than your recovery. So that is pretty straightforward stuff. All right, the next part will be about the vehicle. Okay, the question is, will I be forced to get rid of my Fisker Ocean? That is a great question. No, there are alternative potential remedies that we can seek on your behalf, including, at your option, selling the car back to Chase or keeping the car and having Chase pay damages for the decline in value of the car. A settlement could include either remedy, and you have the choice whether or not to take any settlements offered. What if I want to keep my Fisker Ocean? If Fisker owners wish to keep their Ocean EV, then their damage would be the difference between what they were promised and what is actually worth. For example, if they paid $80,000 for their car, and because of all the issues, it is in actuality worth much less, the firm would employ experts to determine how to monetize that amount. Owners would get that difference. What if I owe more than one affected... I read that wrong. What if I own more than one affected Fisker vehicle? You may submit a single set of files. We will bring your claims in simultaneously. All right, let's pick up with what can I expect. Okay, assuming we prevail, what can I expect? It is too early in the process to know the resolution, and the case against Fisker is unique. While the firm is hopeful, this is complex and presents many variables, and we cannot be certain at this stage. What if I don't like the proposed outcome? Whether or not to settle the claim pursuant to a settlement offer is a decision that the client makes and is its sole discretion. Our clients may refuse any settlement that does not give them all of the relief desired. Okay, the next part is about my sign-up information. This part is really if you have already started the process. Did you receive my information? If you filled out a form on our website, your information has been received and is in our database. What if my contact information changes? They say just send them an email and let them know. Why Hagen Berman's? Why Hagen's Berman? I think I'm saying that right. Why should I choose Hagen Berman's? We are one of the most successful law firms in the U.S. in the area of automotive litigation and is presently leading nationwide cases against other automakers for safety defects and emission cheating claims. Hagen Berman has secured total settlement values of more than $320 billion since its founding. Your case will be handled by attorneys experienced in automotive and consumer finance law. Well, that's good. What experience does Hagen Berman have in bringing mass arbitration clause litigation against a company? The firm has experience in this exact situation and has used this leverage pressure against defendant companies to bring successful claims. In one of the firm's antitrust cases against Amazon, the company exercised its arbitration clause. Hagen Berman then filed tens of thousands of claims individually. That's kind of comical if you think about it. Turning the tables in what Amazon had assumed would be a simple, mess-free situation for it in court. The firm believes in this strategy and momentum against Chase, so they feel pretty confident about this. Okay, the next step. How long do these kinds of cases take? It is difficult to predict the timeline in these initial stages of the case, but arbitrations are typically much quicker than a court case, and the timeline is measured in months rather than years. An arbitration can be completed within 6 months, but the timeline is ultimately determined by the arbiter. What should I do now? Well, if I can get that to open. Okay. If you haven't done so, you would fill out the form for Hagen Berman's, sign the retainer, and upload your information. So that's pretty straightforward stuff. Contact. I submitted my information. Why haven't I heard back? The firm has received hundreds of inquiries and is responding as quickly as possible to those who have sent questions. Please be patient as our team thoughtfully responds to each message. I have more questions. Can I speak to an attorney? And it says the fastest way is to, send us an email. All right, guys. This is all of the FAQs that Hagen's and Berman has sent in an email to everybody. So that's just a quick recap of what's going on there. Now, some of you might want to know what have I done personally. I have personally done this. I am personally pursuing this, and I have uploaded all of my documents. And I actually plan on doing another video for you guys for things that you might want to make sure that you include that would, I think potentially be easy to leave out. So I do plan on doing that. I might do that tomorrow, probably will, as long as I can find time and I have the energy to do so. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for tuning in. And I'm finally got enough strength to do some videos here, so it's good to be back, if you will. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining in, and until next time.